Good morning. My name is Peter Clark. I'm a Senior Applications Consultant at PKF Smith Cooper Systems. I want to record a short video this morning just showing you how you can make your Sage CRM lists pop a little bit using the inbuilt client-side API. I'm going to log into my 2022 R2 demo system, and I'm going to use the opportunities list for this example, but the techniques that we're going to see apply to any list or can apply to any list within the system. First thing I'll do is I'll just switch on my inline list customization, and then we'll get stuck into the API. One of the things we can do without actually writing any code is if we add a new field to this list, for example, priority, and just view that, we can see we've got our text here for normal and high. We've got some empty values. If we want that to display as an image rather than just the text, then click on priority. We can change that to show the select as a GIF. And then when we resave and come in, we've actually now got icons representing those values. This only works for selection lists or drop downs because each value that's possible within the system needs to have an icon to represent it. So it doesn't work for text or dates or anything like that. So if we look at the date example, this is where we need to really get into the API. So because we're on our opportunity lists, I'm actually recording this on the last day of the month. So I'm recording this on the 28th of February. One thing which is typical for salespeople towards the end of the month is moving on close by dates and tidying up opportunities. So here, if I wanted to find all my close by dates that are in the past, I could sort the column and look at it that way. I could just use my eyes, but if you've got lists and lists of opportunities or you've got quite a lot of information on there, it's quite difficult for that information to kind of spring out to the attention of the user. So this is where we can use the API to kind of help with that. Because we're using the client-side API, we can actually use some of the browser development tools that are inbuilt to help us test this without having to go into that customization, make a change, apply it, view it. So if I click F12 in my browser, it brings up this console window. And here we can put in our Sage CRM API calls and have a look at what the effect is on the screen without necessarily it affecting any other user. So first off, what I want to do is I'm going to look at this close by date and I want it to, let's say we want it to turn red or a reddish color if it's a date in the past. So I've just got a little snippet of code I'm going to put in there. As soon as I click return, it's now highlighting all the rows that have got close by dates of in the past. So in theory, I could then go in, click into that, make an amendment and come back to the list. Okay, that tool can be repeated or that technique can be repeated. So this time, rather than looking at dates in the past, I'm going to look at dates in the future. Okay, so if I run that, then it's going to highlight the code green. If I want to run them both together, I can just use my snippets and build it up that way. So already, just by a couple of lines of code, you're making the CRM list stand out a bit and draw the attention of the user to key information. Okay, once I've got that, if I say I want to go in and actually amend that close by date, if I click on the certainty column there, it actually takes me into the opportunity itself. I can change, amend it, and if I want to go back, I've got to click the continue button. Okay, now what if you're working through a number of records, that might get a bit tiresome kind of going backwards and forwards. So as well as changing the colors and the styling, we can also change the behavior of the list. So I'll just put those colors back on. If I put some code in to change the behavior of that certainty field, what I can do is, and this time I'm going to apply it to the whole list. So if I come into here, copy and paste my code snippet, and click save. This is now permanently in there and available to everybody. But this time, if I click on certainty, it's popping up the window. So we put a little bit of code in to intercept that hyperlink and say, rather than taking me to another screen, I just want to pop it up and view it that way. So it's good for view purposes. But in theory, we could actually pop up an editable window to allow you to come in and out of those records as you kind of tidy them up and progressing. Okay, so that's the end of today's video, looking at how you can make your Sage CRM list stand out and pop a little bit. If you've got any questions, please use the comments section or email sage@pkfscs.co.uk. Thanks.